Okay everyone, so as you can tell by the tone of my voice, this is going to be a tough video. It's going to be a little controversial and I don't want to do a lot of these videos, but I'm going to get right to the point. I'm not going to make one of these clickbaity video with a funky logo, but I am here to talk about a YouTuber named Eugenia Cooney who has generated a lot of discussion. The doctors have talked about her. Allegedly, Dr. Phil wanted her on his crazy show, which, by the way, as a professional, I do not endorse his show in any way, shape, or form because it's controversial, and that's a whole different topic. But getting on topic to Eugenia Cooney, this is in no way, shape, or form me judging her. It's rather me kind of clearing the air and giving my own professional opinion on the whole situation. But for those of you that don't know, there's been a lot of speculation on this YouTuber on, is there something wrong with her medically? Does she have anorexia, bulimia, and eating disorder? And this is what I think. I personally think that everyone needs to stop with these assumptions and these crazy clickbaity videos where they lure people in and they talk for like 28 to 30 minutes to near an hour on this YouTuber. Okay, you guys are getting a little obsessive if you're doing that. For those of you that don't know, I am a grad student in a forensic psychology program, which is basically like clinical psychology with legal stuff added to it. We talk a lot about psychological disorders, the DSM, treatment of mental illness, counseling. I have counseling experience. I've done numerous internships in the school setting, addiction setting, almost like correctional, not correctional, school setting, addiction setting, and special education setting. And I did help run a support group for 4 years now for eating disorders, and it was the patient. I would sit in on that one and I would run the one for the parents and parent support. And one of the things we talk about is eating disorders in the media, and there's a lot of misconceptions on does the media cause eating disorders, and from what I understand thus far, the answer is technically no. They may be slightly correlated, but from the research that I've read, they weren't that all connected, because most of the time, and a lot of professionals will tell you, eating disorders are a maladaptive coping mechanism to deal with a tough situation that's usually interpersonal. So it doesn't really involve like the macro picture involving like super thin celebrities or models. And if you really think about it, by today's standards, being super thin is not the style. People want that gorgeous Kim Kardashian behind. Leading me into my next point, I've heard people accusing Eugenia Cooney of making people anorexic. That is not possible in any way, shape, or form. If anything, the person has to be in the throes of an eating disorder and they'll see someone who's thin and they use them as like a focal point. And that does not have to be just this one YouTuber. It could be a celebrity that's naturally thin. It could be someone else. So my own professional opinion is, because if someone asks, do I think Eugenia has a problem? And my own answer is, I really don't care. That's Eugenia's business. That's not our business as her viewers. There's this whole movement saying, unsubscribe her or report her videos or block her. And that's not going to do anything, because there are real medical issues where people have like gastroparesis. They look very thin. They look deathly thin in some cases. Even celiac, if it's severe enough, they can look like they have an eating disorder. When you are a clinical psychologist, you kind of learn how to shut things off. I'm not going to be going around looking to diagnose people. It's usually I wait for people to come to my office for help and whatnot. And, frankly, I think that Eugenia deserves every single right to do YouTube videos on her trying on clothes, doing whatever. It's not harming anyone. It is not our job to do like this YouTube intervention thing either, because in my own experience working with family members who dealt with loved ones with the condition, the intervention is a very controversial thing, and I personally don't believe in them, because what happens is if a person is truly not ready to get help, it's only going to backfire. So you're going to force the person into like treatment or seeing a doctor, and this is also the same for drug as well. And what usually happens is they end up coming back with a vengeance. I've known about 4 cases where the family had tried to do an intervention and send a loved one away, and it only ended up in the loved one leaving AMA, which is against medical advice, thus causing a lot of conflict when they came back. So what I think people should do is, if they are really upset or really want to get into Eugenia's business, they should simply not search the channel, or maybe even leave it alone. When a person is in the throes of an eating disorder, usually the family giving them detachment with love is what I say that works. It's the one method that I think that works. Basically, they love the person. They don't love the eating disorder behavior, so they kind of put it to the side and, they're there for the person. They learn when to listen to the person and not the eating disorder. And from what I've seen in videos, Eugenia and her mom seem decently close. And I'm in no way, shape, or form using the video to judge how things might actually be at home because I don't know them personally. But it seems like she is happy, and I mean, it could just be she has a medical condition. It could be something different. I'm not here to, guess or speculate. I'm just saying, again, that we need to be really careful how we're treating this, because I don't think anyone would want their name out there being dragged through the mud. Even like the doctors on TV, the way they talk about people and they kind of guess and they make speculations. I've actually known a close friend who had a protein condition where her body wasn't making a certain protein and it would cause like a muscle wasting, and she would have to do like the infusions. There are conditions and there are real medical conditions, and sometimes when you actually make gross assessments of someone, that can be very damaging to their own psyche and even trigger depression. I've known people that are going through either a metabolic issue or a stressful time, they tend to lose weight, and then when people start going, oh no, you need to eat a piece of bread, you need to eat, you need to do this, and they start commanding them, it only pushes them back and pushes them away. So yeah, the bottom line of this is pretty much mind your own business. I think too, it does come from a good place from some people when they see someone they think may have an issue and they want to give support. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to walk away and say nothing. And saying nothing goes a longer ways than actually being in someone's face and being like, oh, you need to be shut down, you need help, you have this, you have that, you have da-da-da-da. I always tell, when I worked in the field of addiction, you would notice that when someone was struggling, you would have, or not even struggling, oh my gosh, that was a total slip of the tongue. If someone was having a bad day, they would assume that they were struggling or relapsing, and they would gather all around them, and it would become like this whole thing in the house, and you'd actually have to go in there, and it would be like high school. You'd have to break it up and say, okay, you do you, they do they, mind your own business, focus on your own work and your own personal development. And I think that's a good thing, because sometimes we are up in each other's business a lot, and I see this a lot, not just with Eugenia Cooney, but with so many YouTubers. People are like, oh, but you're doing this, or you're doing that, or, oh, you can't make this choice. You want to force your beliefs in someone else, and it really doesn't work that way. To a person, whether they are healthy or unhealthy or bad example, but if they're involved in an eating disorder, you forcing your beliefs in them is not going to make them change one bit. They have to change, and it starts with up here. And that's why I do not believe in this whole block Eugenia Cooney, unsubscribe from her, get in her business, make drastic assumptions, and make these dramatic videos. And this is probably going to be the only Eugenia Cooney video I will ever make, and I am probably not going to talk about it in any of their videos. If I do, it'll be in a different context, or like maybe a media psychology video. But yeah, leave her alone and you do you. So if you guys agree with me, comment down below. If you have a different opinion, keep it appropriate and maybe have a discussion. I really don't want to create a giant controversial topic with this, but I just had to put this out there because it was on my mind. And I'm sorry if I said a few points over again. I'm a little tired. It's like 2 a.m. and I can't sleep, so I'm like, you know what, I'll do a YouTube video. So I'll see you guys soon with hopefully a more fun and less controversial video. Comment down below for ideas.